Naruto Clash of Ninja was released originally a little around 20 years ago in Japan in 2003 and wasn't released into America until 2006, and this is how they hyped it up for the American crowd back in the day.
Ready to get schooled?
Oh yeah, they knew their audience. It was made for dorks like you and me. The game was worked on by a lot of studios, and it is the first ever game released in the US. Everything about this game just from the title and start menu alone screams passion, and I love that. The soundtrack is honestly super pumpy, and I love the funky intro.
Yo, yo, yo! Ah!
But that intro is really only 10 seconds. It has all the original voice actors for the game and a mix of 2D and 3D environments in the background, which makes it feel more like the show since the 2D animations were the same art style. They also have a random character to say the game's title, which is always an awesome flair, and all of it is just amazing.
Naruto Clash of Ninja.
Naruto Clash of Ninja.
Naruto Clash of Ninja.
Some of the combos might just look generic, but if you look closely, some of them are cut straight from the show. Like Sasuke's back combo is a reference to his first fight with Kakashi during the bell test. Booting up the game honestly made me a bit emotional since I had so many fond memories with this game growing up, and it's one of those few games that my dad used to play with me back in the day. This was one of those games that was made before online functionality was really a thing, so you had to find someone that was as nerdy as you, and for dorky little me, I played the story mode over and over, and occasionally begged my dad to play since I had no one to play with me. I pretty much got this game when I was 6 or 7, and dorky little Pugly loved every moment of this game. And if you guys don't know, I'm Mr. Pugly, and if you got this far in the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This game has a total of 7 characters on the roster, but there's 3 secret characters like Sharingan Kakashi, Kyuubi Naruto, and Rock Lee. I didn't unlock the alternative versions of Naruto and Kakashi, so here's some footage I found on the internet. I'll probably put their name on the bottom left. I remember unlocking Kyuubi Naruto back in the day, and it was just so hype. I remember only ever playing him for the longest time after getting him, and reliving the Haku versus Kyuubi Naruto scene like a little dork I was and still am. And I gotta say, Iruka might be my favorite. His fight style is so savage and tricky in this game. Iruka's ultimate goes hard. Remember in the show when Iruka pinned someone down and went ballistic ballerina on their stomach? Or when Iruka broke Naruto's neck? I remember that. This game has a lot of classic fighting game elements like chip out, block being designated to the backwards key. There is double jump in the air, which is seen as traditional in anime games now, so I wonder if this was one of the first showcasings of that. Since it's a 3D fighting game, it has side steps to dodge attacks, ninja tools can clash, and it has an awesome black and blue freeze frame effect when you clash with your fist, which is just so freaking hype when it happens. Its sound design is amazing when it happens. The game also has a chakra system, which allows you to use certain moves like sexy jutsu, fireball jutsu, and the game also has generic subs, which takes majority of your chakra to use. It allows you to essentially evade all damage at that specific moment and get in a quick hit on the enemy. The substitution jutsu also changes based on the character's lore, so with Haku and Zabuza it's water, with Rock Lee he doesn't have a log because he can't do chakra, so it's just like a black flash. The game doesn't have that many modes to offer, but in later releases there are modes that allow you to play with more than one player. But currently there is single player, play with another player, play with a computer, survival mode, which is a series of matches where you see how many matches you can win before you lose. Your HP doesn't regain much between these fights, which makes the mode difficult. Time attack is just 10 matches where you see how fast you can win. One player, as I mentioned before, is a standard arcade mode where you go through a series of 8 fights and the end just has the credit roll. And the real star of the show, which honestly isn't around for too long, is the story mode, because you get to hear all the voice acting.
I'll treat you to ramen.
And a nice synopsis of the story, but we'll get a little bit more into story mode in a little bit. It also has extra, which I wasn't really expecting. It has all these details on these characters like registration number, birthday, height, weight, age, sign, blood type, stats, and I'm honestly extremely impressed that they have this type of thing in the game, since there isn't much content in the game itself, and they could have just made the game and be done with it, but they really went the extra mile on that, and I really appreciate the studio for doing that. And if you wait too long on the title card, it has like a press start blinking title thing where the characters are fighting in the background, and it makes it seem like it was supposed to be in an arcade cabinet at one point, but there's no sources that support this, but it really just gives off that old school fighting game vibe, which I really enjoy. There's even a input name after survival, single player, and time attack, like to see who has the highest score in the cabinet. To start off the game, I went straight into the story mode, which basically goes from the start of Naruto to the Land of Wave arc, and a little extended past that with non-canon bits.
I had no idea.
It doesn't teach you how to fight at all, which I wasn't expecting, so I was caught a bit surprised. I went in there and I was essentially thrown to the wolves with Haruka Sensei here. This game's hard for a little kid. I don't remember this game being so hard. I don't know how I would have beaten this as a kid. But I for some reason remembered all the combos from back when I was young. I'm totally playing this on a legit GameCube, by the way, so I was extra surprised when I was able to translate the controls so easily to a keyboard. I personally never really played a fighting game on a keyboard unless you consider Super Flash Bros, so I was extra impressed when I was able to pull off a big combo like this. The combos are for the most part basic. There is a generic auto combo by just pressing B, grabs and such, but you can really mix things up once you get a handle into the game, like projectiles in the airs to get behind the enemy, or using sidestep to counter. There are no lows or highs, so every combo can be blocked the same, which is nice for beginners. The story mode doesn't have voice acting during some parts, like the story summary, but otherwise the game is fully voice acted and it's super dorky.
That was awesome! No way! Believe it!
The Believe It's are so classic, I love it. There's mostly unique interactions depending on which character is fighting who at the start and end of the match. A good one is Naruto and Sasuke right here.
I've been waiting for this.
And well, there's this one.
I won't go easy on you. I won't go easy on you.
Fighting games are kind of meant to be played with friends and hone combos, so I forgive the game for being short, but it's nothing compared to what we expect nowadays, where anime fighting games will typically have hours upon hours of story mode and bonus side missions to go through. I will say that there is a lack of combos overall for each character. I felt like after 20 minutes of play on the story mode where you only play Naruto, there wasn't a ton of combos I could have learned with Naruto after I was done. There's no combo strings in the air, so any air combat is really meant to traverse the battlefield, poke or reset ground combos. Knocking players down allow you to usually get an additional hit while they're on the ground, which is a cool feature. And it's one of those games where it's kind of like Tekken, where you have to manually press a button to switch which side your character is looking at. Controls don't swap when you're standing the wrong way, so if back special is your counter ability, then it's forward special for the counter if you're backwards, which is a bit tricky. All the characters have a lot of similar type of attacks with the same button input, similar to Super Smash Bros. Punch and back for all the characters has like a super armor move where you can block one attack and then still pull through for a punch during the animation, or special and back is usually a counter for every single character. And I will say the story mode wasn't too challenging. I know back in the day it was really challenging for me when I was younger, but the only time I lost in the story mode was with one round with Rock Lee, but I won the set afterwards, so it wasn't too much of a challenge. During the story mode, you'll experience classic Team 7 antics.
Wouldn't want you to slow me down during the real battle.
Both of you, cut it out! We're gonna be late if we don't leave soon. Sure! Do your best, Sasuke!
You'll even see some cool bits that they include into the game, like when you damage Haku enough, his mask falls off. And Zabuza calls the sword, his executioner sword, by the name Guillotine Sword, which for some reason the English dub also does, and eventually calls it the correct name, Executioner Blade, I believe, in Shippuden, so I'll excuse it. And speaking about his sword, the gnarly slashing effects that they have in this game are crazy. Just take a listen on this. I remember Zabuza used to be my favorite to play just so I could hear that janky sound, plus he has an amazing reach and I really do love villains in video games. But can you imagine if that was the generic slashing effect they use in all media? And I know it's the same voice actors and everything, but I gotta say, Sasuke is super edgy in the story mode, like a little bit more hammed up than normal, which was a real treat, honestly.
That's enough small talk. Come on.
The game even has some alternate costumes for some of the characters, as well as some colors, like Iruka Sensei is just a generic gray, but with Zabuza he has a whole new outfit, which is awesome. To sum it up, there isn't a ton of meat in the game, but there's so much love in it, it's hard to hate it. The game was successful enough to sport multiple sequels, so if you guys like this, tell me down below so perhaps I can make a sequel. And as always, we got Clairvoyance, Rick Iglesias, and Cameron. These are the people who support me as little as $5 a month on Patreon and YouTube. The more members we have, the closer I get to becoming full-time, which means more videos for you guys. So if you like, please support me in the comments or description. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on the wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.